this tired cliche that Americans are loud, oblivious, and convinced the rest of the world works exactly like their country does. But here's what's been quietly reshaping the conversation online. A growing number of Europeans who arrived expecting to confirm their worst stereotypes left absolutely unable to let the experience go.
This is not massive by any means.
Oh my god.
Here are the things about American houses that I realized that just make sense. They have food grinders in their sinks, just like the movie.
Number one, the doors are humongous here. You know how in European houses you can put your towel on the door?
When British tourists imagine an American home, they usually picture something straight out of a Hollywood movie.
If you want more videos exploring these kinds of cultural blind spots, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. What we're seeing isn't just tourism coverage anymore. It's a broader cultural moment about assumptions, hospitality, and what happens when people actually show up in person instead of arguing online.
I just had the best meal I've ever had in my entire life.
Was it at a Michelin star restaurant?
No, it was at a 24-hour diner in Lawrence, Kansas. Can you believe that? It was amazing.
So good. Wow, it's actually really good.
The narrative starts with something almost embarrassingly simple: human warmth. A Dutch family's meal at a Texas diner was paid for by strangers, not charity, just locals wanting them to feel welcome. One Swedish traveler documented a traffic stop in Colorado where a state trooper didn't just check on their safety. He joked with them about the local mountains, then waved them on with well wishes. In Germany and Sweden, law enforcement is transactional and formal. A German couple in New Orleans described a shopkeeper spending 40 minutes telling them about the city's history without expecting anything but their attention. These aren't isolated incidents. They're scattered across dozens of travel vlogs. The discovery keeps landing the same way. American hospitality operates at a different temperature than European social norms. In Scandinavia, small talk is treated as intrusive. The British maintain politeness through formality and distance, but American hospitality applies to strangers, to customers, to tourists with no social connection. It's relentless, and to Europeans accustomed to cooler transactions, it registers as shocking. This leads directly into scale and infrastructure as emotional abundance.
The amount of times that I've had this suggestion in the past 24 hours has literally just been insane. So obviously I want to try it. This combination literally sounds incredible. I've no idea why I've never thought of it before. So obviously I'm going to go make it. I'm going to make a grilled cheese and then some tomato soup, add them together. Let's see how it tastes. Okay, so I've made my grilled cheese. I used mayonnaise on the outside because everyone was suggesting that to me. Literally, look at it. Stunning. And I've got my tomato soup, which also looks stunning. Let's add them together and try it. I'm literally so excited right now. Right, let's try it. Oh my god. Oh.
A Bucks gas station, nearly 75,000 square feet, became iconic in traveler accounts. A typical European gas station is 2,000 square feet. One British traveler posted about discovering a single Walmart held more variety than his entire town's shopping district. Not because his town is poor, but because European retail is built for density while American retail is built for scale and convenience. A Swedish person documented ordering a regular pancake breakfast and finding it was larger than what they typically eat across 2 meals at home. The initial shock gave way to understanding. This isn't waste, but a particular attitude toward abundance. A French vlogger driving from Los Angeles to San Francisco recorded genuine amazement at highway breadth and road quality. What struck them wasn't just infrastructure quality, but the confidence it communicated. 6 lanes where 4 would suffice. Rest stops with seemingly unlimited parking. One Dutch engineer noted that what takes 18 months to build in the Netherlands takes 4 months in Texas, not because workers are faster, but because bureaucracy is streamlined. American trucks became surprisingly popular in European social circles, massive vehicles operating at normal scale, pulling into rest stops that felt like small towns. The infrastructure communicates something. Americans assume abundance, speed, and convenience as baseline. Then came the land itself. Yosemite, the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone. These are landmarks, but experiencing them in person hits differently.
This might possibly be the happiest day of my life. Right, let's try the burger first. Look how juicy that looks. Taste test. Oh my god, that is insane. That's better than Five Guys. Eating in America makes me really sad about where I live. It makes me deep how shit UK food is. What do we have? Fish and chips. Then now the chips. Could probably do with more salt. That'll do it. Then for a drink, I've got this pink lemonade.
A Swiss hiker in Colorado realized you could drive 4 hours and see landscape that looked like another planet, and this was normal for weekend trips. Switzerland is mountainous, but 11,000 square miles total. Colorado is 104,000 square miles. One German traveler's TikTok documented learning the US has 11 time zones and you could drive east for 8 hours and literally be back in time. It's shifted from pretty mountains to something deeper. Americans' sense of possibility is literally scaled to their geography. Your weekend road trip isn't constrained by borders or visas. It's just more space.
I had the time of my life. Now, it seems like when I go to other places or new places, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's beautiful, but it just doesn't compare to what I saw in the US. Of course, I appreciate everywhere I go. I absolutely love nature. I love being surrounded by nature. I love everything about it. But again, as I said, America is just different. It's just different. For example, I'm currently in Ireland. Absolutely love it here. It's beautiful. Green fields everywhere. Country lanes, so quiet.
A Dutch couple in Nevada documented the sheer emptiness, not as deprivation, but as freedom. After European density, it was almost meditative. The safety angle adds another layer. There's a European narrative positioning America as violent and chaotic. Yet virtually every traveler report from organized cities describes something different. Clean streets, orderly crowds, friendly law enforcement. This doesn't erase America's real problems. It says that many European travelers, arriving with risk assessments from news media, found lived experience contradicted their fears. A Swedish safety researcher visiting Miami found herself more nervous in certain Copenhagen neighborhoods than downtown Miami. An Italian woman who knocked on a farmhouse door in rural Kansas for directions was invited inside for coffee. She later said, "In Italy, you don't knock on a stranger's door unless there's an emergency. If you do, you're lucky if they call the police instead of yelling."
Woo! Let's sit this right here. All right, baby. There we go.
What is this?
Your pancakes you ordered.
I ordered one pancake.
That's one. Let's go and eat at Chili's. I feel like this is an American staple, and as a British girlie in Florida, gotta come and eat at Chili's. Let's try. That is good. Ooh. Whoa. Wait, what do I do with it now? Didn't think that far.
I love this burger.
The American response, to invite her in, offer hospitality, trust her completely, was so far outside her frame of reference, it became a defining memory. The economic element layered on another dimension. American wages are higher than many European countries, translating to purchasing power that fascinates and occasionally disturbs Europeans. A German software engineer in San Francisco found his salary stretched further than anticipated. In-unit laundry, unlimited hot water, climate-controlled apartments, considered luxuries in Berlin, were standard. Health insurance through his employer was nearly free. A French accountant in Boston noted property ownership seemed realistic for middle-income professionals, whereas in Paris, it seemed impossible. The game operates under different rules. The cost of suburban homes differs by a factor of 3. Multiple travelers documented tipping culture's shock. initially feeling like a tax on kindness until understanding it's actually a wage subsidy making American service workers earn more hourly than European counterparts. This abundance creates a particular emotional infrastructure, patriotism and identity. American patriotism isn't subtle. Flags, anthems, small-town pride, casual greatest country in the world statements. Post-World War II, European nationalism has been treated with suspicion. But in America, patriotism is emotional and unguarded. A Dutch person at an Iowa 4th of July celebration described Americans celebrating independence so earnestly and joyfully it was anthropologically fascinating. An English woman at a baseball game was struck by the national anthem, hand over heart gestures, visible emotion. In England, it's performative. In America, it means something. A Spanish traveler in rural Tennessee noted locals combining town, state, and national identity seamlessly, as if all three scales worked together rather than competing. Europeans, convinced to be skeptical of exactly this emotional coherence, found understanding when experiencing it in person. American food and everyday culture extended the conversation. A Swedish nutritionist documented shock at 64-ounce big gulps and family-sized portions meant for individuals. But beyond shock was curiosity about the why. American culture assumes you're busy, mobile, and deserve convenience without compromise.
I need to have that. I must have that.
Wow. This is me.
Oh my god, I have to put the phone down. I have to try this. Look at your face, Emily. Oh.
A Portuguese chef noted American food culture, dismissed as unsophisticated, actually communicates democratic abundance. Good food, comfort, and indulgence shouldn't be reserved for the wealthy, but accessible to everyone, all the time. Drive-thrus aren't laziness. They're infrastructure for a particular freedom. Multiple travelers noted food's cost. Meals costing 15 to 20 euros in Paris cost $8 to $10 in equivalent American cities. One Swedish woman ordered a complex coffee drink in Los Angeles, received it perfectly in 3 minutes, then laughed. In Stockholm, the same order would take twice as long and cost 3 times as much.
So when in Europe, make sure that when you're ordering grilled cheese, that it's not just a block of cheese, because this was a block of cheese. It wasn't the grilled cheese that we're used to in America.
I'm vegetarian for the next 20 minutes.
I made my boyfriend lunch because I'm trying to get promoted. I have a pimento cheese, grilled cheese, homemade tomato soup. Here you go.
By the closing, virtually every traveler followed the same arc. Skepticism giving way to surprise, surprise to grudging respect, respect never quite fading. Europeans arriving with opinions about American superficiality and consumerism found themselves confronting a country that, whatever its flaws, has built something psychologically coherent around ease, warmth at scale, and abundance as baseline. A French journalist returning to Paris found herself defending America, not converted to patriotism, but unable to dismiss it because nuance couldn't fit the original narrative.
Pulls the air conditioning and the heat throughout the entire house, and you can even connect your aux cable. It's very hot today, so let's turn it to 75. This is a food waste disposer and it's for Essensreste. You can activate it back here. So don't put your fingers in it or your hands are going to be chopped off. This is how you close your blinds here.
A German professor who taught American studies returned unable to unsee how European assumptions filtered through media and distance rather than experience. The problems didn't disappear, but the story complicated. Multiple travelers reported comments from friends saying, "Now I want to go," or "I didn't expect anything positive about America." The deeper question is about assumptions and how they break. Europeans grew up in media amplifying American problems because problems travel as stories. Nobody makes viral videos titled "American Small Town Has Decent Infrastructure." But when people arrive in person, they encounter background, daily life, decent systems, people trying to be kind to each other. A Scottish engineer working in Seattle came back defending Americans against critiques, not because America is perfect, but because the caricature didn't hold against reality. He couldn't unsee the competence and friendliness, even while seeing the problems. A Belgian woman who'd heard about healthcare disaster actually used American healthcare, paying an amount she could absorb, and found it both expensive and efficient. The narrative fractured. Here's what matters. Europeans can't move on because moving on would require returning to the simplified version they arrived with, and they can't unsee what they've seen. The hospitality was real. The scale was real. The friendliness was real. The infrastructure worked. The abundance was genuine. These exist alongside serious problems: inequality, medical bankruptcy, genuine danger for certain populations. But travelers don't need convincing about problems. They know that already. They're processing that America also has these other things, unexpected and contradicting the critical narrative. They're stuck between what they thought and what they experienced. And that's where the conversation keeps happening. Would you rather live where systems are elegant but people are distant, or where systems are messier but people treat strangers like humans? There's no right answer, but the question is the point. These travelers found evidence that a country, whatever its flaws, is built on assumptions of abundance and human warmth that aren't obvious or universal. This matters especially for cultural moments like World Cup 2026. These stories circulate through European social media, travel communities, ordinary conversations. They're not official tourism campaigns. They're genuine reactions processing cognitive dissonance. In a world where relations are mediated through narrative rather than direct experience, these ground-level accounts carry outsized weight. A single vlogger's genuine reaction reaches hundreds of thousands of Europeans, chipping away at simplified versions. Multiply that by thousands of travelers yearly, and you've got a slow shift in how Europeans understand America. Not away from legitimate criticism, but toward complexity that holds both problems and surprising qualities. If this exploration of travel, assumption, and reality resonated with you, like this video, and share it with someone who's been to America or thought they wouldn't want to. If you want more videos unpacking cultural blind spots and what happens when people encounter each other in person instead of through screens, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. A quick note: this video draws together publicly available traveler accounts, social media posts, and tourism observations, synthesized through cultural analysis. It doesn't represent anyone's complete experience or universal truth. It's a pattern in a particular subset of narratives gaining traction online. Individual experiences vary based on location, duration, who people interact with, and what they notice. Statistics referenced are from public data and should be understood as illustrative. This isn't judging which way of living is better. It's exploring why a particular experience, genuine but non-universal, has become a repeated pattern in European processing of America. Approach all content with discernment, seek multiple perspectives, and remember that one video can't capture an entire continent or country,